Hello people. Where to start? Okay, back in 2012, 2013. First of all, I own two houses. One I have a quite large mortgage on, and the other one is completely paid, because what I did is the remaining balance of the property, I got out another loan to pay that off, so I didn't have to. So I actually owned outright one house, which, on hindsight, I don't even think I would have gone there if I'd known the outcomes. Anyway, I'm disabled. I'm paralysed in my right arm. It hasn't stopped me working. I've worked most of my life. However, if you think I look like crap, I feel even worse. I was not discharged. I got myself out of hospital Monday. I went in for an attack. I suffer from asthma, but that's another story because it's not asthma, but moving along. The council issued me summonses back in, I think, 2012, 2013 for the house I own. The house was in repair, needed repair, and when I mean repair, it needed repair when I bought the house back in 1999. In 2012 and 13, I was restoring it myself. With little grabs and pieces of money, so the house was actually emptied for quite some time. Oh, by the way, my name's Jeff Taylor, G Taylor, another G Taylor, but not quite as horrific as Guy. And to all the lovely people out there, and I've been to a couple of little eviction things, well done, and keep the faith. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, okay, they're harassing me, yeah? I am now hypertension stage 2 heart attack or stroke. Yeah, that's what I've been diagnosed with. But I don't care. As Guy says, they need to put a gun to my head and trust me. You know, the people out there that really know me, trust me, there's no way I'd give in to these bastards. Fraudsters, they lie, they cheat, they do everything in their power to mislead you. And most of the letters they send to us, they just sign. They never actually put their names. Full disclosure is never given. They're not allowed to act as, you know, act in court as if they run the court. Well, they do. They clearly do. Every time that I've been once, but when you go to the courts to see what they're doing with their liability order, or where they're trying to process a liability order, they say, come this way, come into a little room. You go into a little room, you don't know what's going on, of course you don't. And then they try to get you or coerce you into accepting the liability. But they don't tell you that, I mean, I've got a prime example, Brighton Hove City Council we were referring to, Mr. Jenkins, yes? Mr. Jenkins, first when he came to us, he told us he was the senior court official. And then a couple of minutes later he said, actually my new title is, I think it was something senior to do with the council again. Either way, load of crap. They intimidated us, they told us that we were asking stupid questions. Mr. Jenkins got very angry. I had to remind him on 2 or 3 occasions to calm down. In the end he actually called for the security to remove us, but we just sat there and carried on talking. He told me I was wasting his time, but anyway. So anyway, that was the build-up to the order. We eventually went into court, and we were assisted by the assisted by the security, which again was harassment, intimidation. And as soon as we got into court, they showed us where to sit, and then we sat, and then the 3 judges, one of them told us to go over into the dock to myself, and I told them I was quite happy to stand where I was. Anyway, cutting that long story short, we went on and went on and went on. Basically, I asked them if they were under their oaths, their judges. I wanted their names, I asked for their names. I requested various different things, and I told them I was in special attendance because of my health. Actually, I told Mr. Jenkins as well that was on special attendance because I'd been sick, and he said, oh, I've been sick too. Hey, You are supposed to be, notice I say supposed to be, a civil servant. You're actually working for a corporation, so I don't see how you can be a public servant or a civil servant if you're working for a corporation. This is very, very... I worked extremely hard to pay for my house. I have had to stay in a flat while having a house for over 5 years because I couldn't afford to live in that house. The circumstances changed. They do everything in their power. At the moment, okay, sorry, I'm missing the point here. I could just go on and go on. So anyway, going back to the court, I asked them if they're under oath, etc., etc. I asked them if it was a court of record. They told me they take notes. There's no court of record. It's not actually a proper court. It's just so farcical. I enjoyed my day at court because for the first time, I've been in the court a few times. I was a naughty little boy, and let me put that down to education. Let's get that straight. The government has never educated people like myself. I have learnt my own education myself after leaving school. Yeah, the same as health, the same as where they put us. Council properties. Okay, you know, there's nothing wrong with council property. However, many of us there have been affected by traumas in our life. So the whole family has been moved there, and then when you get there, there's hundreds of other families with similar problems, and then they put you in a crap school that you can't learn. In my day, they didn't have such thing as dyslexia. I know I have dyslexia now, but you know, the only way I could ever prove that is by paying for it. It's all about money. It's all about control. You know, back in the day, getting caned at school. I mean, corporal punishment. However, I got caned at school for something I never even did. But it doesn't matter. We still got punished. You know, my son told me, he said, why... I'm going off the track again. I'm really sorry. Okay. So, anyway, I asked them various different questions in the court. We went through the whole procedure. And in the end, they still gave them the order, the liability order. The very funny part of it, the judge... she couldn't even say liability order because she didn't know it and had to be asked. Going back to Mr. Jenkins, when we asked him to see his ID, he held his thumb over his first name. He wouldn't show us his name. That was part of the palaver. Then, when we were in court, Mr. Jenkins assisted Mr. D. Williams. Now, this D. Williams was to do with the Brighton Hove City Council and was putting forward the case. Mr. Jenkins, who was standing or sitting beside him, I asked to know who he was, what was his name, as he wouldn't give us his full name earlier. And he stood up and he said to the judge, "You know me, judge, I don't have to give my name," and sat down. And Mr. Williams from Brighton and Hove was speaking to Mr. Jenkins. Now, that's a conflict straight away. You know, the man, he knows the judge and he doesn't have to give his name in court. What's that about? So anyway, that's another thing going on. So this was a complete mockery, a complete sham. However, they still passed the order. So that was the first one. And now the order was, okay, I've had two orders made against me. One for the house in question we're talking about for, I think it's 2012, 2013. 14, 15. Yep, 2013. Yep, that's right. And the orders have been made, but they sent me a summons to my old address. They sent me the order to my old address. Everything, the bill they sent to the old address. Everything has been sent to my old address. Okay, so that's the first one. So the first thing I really knew about it was, say, back in June when they told me I had to go to court. Anyway, so we went to court and that was the process. We lost that on that day. Then... after that, I received shortly after that another liability order for 2014 and 2015. Now, there is a tenant in that property, okay? And it's a private agreement that's been made between the tenant and myself. So, I told them that, this is on the same day as well, I told them that the place had been vacant and it was only, sorry, vacant, it'd been vacant, and I can't remember exactly, sorry, it's the last 3 months. Anyway, I'll move along swiftly because I know you're going to get bored by this time. I am more than willing to do anything at the moment. I am desperate, I'm pissed off, I am angry, of course I'm angry. I'm stressed, and I can understand and sympathise with anybody going through the same rubbish that we're going through, because it's wrong, it's unlawful. The corporations have taken over the governments, the police, all of the services. We all know that. But the public need to come together. We need to come together as one, as Response are doing at the moment. You will see there's more and more things happening. Don't give up. We have more power than you can imagine. We have so much power in us because we are men. You know, whatever they are saying, whatever they are trying to do, if more people came together and stuck together and just say, look, we're not having it, then their little fabric and their little institutions will collapse. Look how many paedophiles are in Parliament. Look at the paedophile rings that are out there. Oh, yes, I am going away. Okay, right, so they still passed a liability order for 2014-2015, although the tenant had already admitted liability and had sent them in a postal cheque for £160, which they refused. He represented it 3 times, and once before the hearing, and they did not disclose that in the hearing that he had tried to pay £160. So that's another one anyway. So what we're trying to do now at the moment is take it case by case. So the first liability order, we're trying to get that squashed. We've had letters to and fro with them, notices served. I joined Get Out of Debt Free. I sent the 3 letters off and told them to cease and desist. They still kept sending us letters. The best part about it, they even admitted that it's out of their jurisdiction because I live somewhere else, that they can't come out to my house, so they've given it to a third party. Now, they're a third-party interloper, as we all know. Straight away, how can they be giving it to a third party when I have no contract with them? You know, so who the hell are you? You think you're going to come to my house and take my house? Yeah, right. Okay, so that's how. Now we're going back. We're going to here where I am now. What they've done now is they're trying to take my house through the back door. They're trying to say that it's empty and it's been empty for whatever period they're discussing. And so under the empty house policy, sorry, I've got it up here. Under the empty property, this is the solicitor, because we sent them a notice. I act on behalf of Brighton Hove City Council, and I've been given a copy of your affidavit. Yes, I have sent them an affidavit. Please note that Emma Kumar and Patrick Gordon are officers of the council and have written to you in that capacity. The steps they have taken so far are within the remits of the law, and it may be necessary for further steps to be taken if your property continues to remain empty. Now, they know the property is not empty. They have been sent or given a postal order, which they refused to cash for whatever reason. They've made up 3 different excuses. If it's the case that your property is no longer empty, it would be helpful if you could provide me with a copy of the private agreement that you refer to in paragraph 4.7 of your affidavit. I have sent them the agreement once already. I am sending, well, I actually sent it 2 days ago again. So we'll see where we are. And this is why I act on behalf of Brighton Hove City Council. Well, do you act in the theatre? Do you act on a movie? I mean, what kind of acting do you do? You know? And this is Mrs. Joan Dougna Glow, senior lawyer, for Head of Legal and Democratic Services. Now, again, who the hell are Legal and Democratic Services? They just change it. They're just putting different names in. I will contact her, but I want to get more information before I do this. Hopefully this has been of some help. I know I've waffled a lot. I can really get myself together, but at the moment it's been a long day. I've been dealing with all the papers. This is one of my SARS for the Ministry of Justice. I had another SARS for Brighton and Hove City Council. Oh, by the way, I've had issues with Brighton and Hove City Council before. In 2004, sorry, between 2002 to 2005, they refused to pay me benefit from my tenants because I was away out of the country. They even told me if I kept on, we would look further into you because we don't believe something or other. They lied, they cheated time and time again. They promised phone calls, they didn't make phone calls, they didn't. Anyway, that's Brighton and Hove City Council for you. Liars, corrupt, and they will do anything to defraud anybody. And this is why I'm concerned. Hey, Brighton Hove City Council, let's get one thing straight. I'm not scared, I'm not frightened, I'm not worried. Because the things that you do to people need to be told. People need to realise that you have no you have no morals. You have no moral standing. You know, you don't care about people. You don't care about the facts. You just rubber stamp it. You've admitted to me on at least 2 letters now that the whole process of your summons is rubber stamped. Yes, the same as your liability order. You say you don't even keep a copy of the summons or of the liability order. I've asked to see your liability orders, but you won't show me your liability orders because you bloody well don't have them, because you're fraudulently claiming things that you know you have no right to. But anyway, hopefully this has helped. I really, really, really do hope that you can help me. Andy, good luck. Thank you very much.